Hello everyone, welcome back to Tina Teach IELTS Grammar. Today's lesson is about little and few, both serving as adjectives and pronouns, okay? So let's kickstart our lesson with the first few use cases. Little and few means scarcity or lack of. It means that you don't have much of something, okay? You don't. And that's what little and few mean. And they also have almost the force of a negative. Now I'm going to give you some examples so you can comprehend this a little bit better. There was little time for consultation. There was little time for consultation. Little is known about the side effect of this drug. Little is known about the side effect of this drug. Few towns have such splendid statues. Few towns have such splendid statues. Okay? As you can see, little denoting or referencing that we don't have much time here. And little over here meaning not much is known. You don't have a lot of knowledge when it comes to this drug, okay? And for the last one, we have few instead of little, but it serves the same purpose. Few towns, meaning not a lot of towns, or only, one or two towns have such splendid statues, okay? Now, this use of little and few is mainly used in written English as opposed to spoken English, because when you speak it, they're often mistaken with a little and a few, okay? And it's just a natural thing. Even if you enunciate and you say them correctly, a lot of listeners will just automatically assume, oh, little means a little and a few is a few, okay? It just comes naturally to them. That is why in conversation, little and few are normally replaced by hardly any. Okay? For example, you can say there's little time. Replace that with hardly any and it becomes there's hardly any time. Okay? Another example would be there are few cupcakes. There are hardly any cupcakes. All right, let's move on to the second part of use cases. A negative verb plus much or many. Okay, we saw little equals to we saw hardly any. We saw little equals to we saw hardly anything. And then the second one is tourists come here, but few stay overnight. It's the same as saying tourists come here, but hardly any stay overnight. Okay? I'm going to go through it one more time so you can get my pronunciation. Tourists come here, but few stay overnight. Tourists come here, but hardly any stay overnight. All right? Now, in some instances, little and few can be used more freely. It means that you don't have to pay too much attention to the words and the sentence structure that little and few is within when they are qualified by examples such as so, very, to, extremely, relatively. Another variant of few can also be used, such as fewer. All right, I'm going to give you some examples. I'm unwilling to try a drug I know so little about. I'm unwilling to try a drug I know so little about. There are fewer butterflies every year. There are fewer butterflies every year. They have too many technicians. We have too few. They have too many technicians. We have too few. Okay, now let's do a quick recap before we end the lesson. The first use cases of little and few. Little and few means there's not a lot of something, denoting scarcity or lack of. Okay, for example, there was little time, little was known, and few towns. This use of little and few is mainly used in written English because when you say them, a lot of listeners would automatically hear a little and a few instead. So in conversation, you would replace them with hardly any. There was hardly any time. Hardly anything was known, for example. Okay? Hardly any towns have such splendid statues. Now, to the last part, if you use a negative verb with either much or many, the sentence would look something like this. We saw little is the same as we saw hardly anything, or we didn't see much. Okay? Now, little and few can be used more freely when they are qualified by words such as so, very, to, extremely, and relatively. Okay? I'm unwilling to try a drug I know so little about. There are fewer butterflies every year. Now that's it for today's lesson. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate that. Don't forget to continue with my next topic, a little and little, both being adverbs. Okay? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment anything you're curious about. Learn today, better tomorrow, and have a wonderful day.